Hello, friends. This is a new episode with a special guest, our inner teacher. Yes, inside each of us lives a wise being who speaks in the language of life, a language of intuition, sensations, signs, even coincidences. However, many times we're busy with our daily routine, our problems and distractions, and we fail to hear its teachings. Have you ever experienced something that made you realize something very important about yourself or about life? Maybe a mistake taught you humility, or a betrayal showed you the importance of trust. These moments of learning through experience are part of the journey we all go through. Our inner teacher uses these experiences as opportunities to teach us. If you've ever gone through something challenging and realized something significant about yourself afterward, please share your story in the comments below. Your experience may inspire and help others. And now, before we continue, if you want to receive episodes like this one directly on your phone whenever they come out, subscribe to our notification list. By doing so, you'll help us keep going and you'll get more meaningful content. You can also check out our website and join us on social networks. Now let's go back to the video. Have you ever had the feeling that you keep repeating the same mistakes or facing similar challenges over and over again? Near you, there is a silence that knows. When everything gets confusing, it's that silence that tries to speak. It doesn't use difficult sentences or quote books. It just repeats the same idea in different ways. Life is teaching you something important. Sometimes we understand quickly, other times it takes a while. When it takes a while, situations return with other faces and other settings. But with the same feeling inside, it looks like punishment. It isn't. It's a lesson. Imagine that before you were born, you agreed to learn a few subjects. No one forced you. Ao agreed because you knew it would be good for your soul. Patience, forgiveness, courage, trust, humility, simple joy. Every person who crosses your path, every meeting and every parting, every yes and every no, everything becomes study material. When we forget the purpose, life presents the lesson again. And when we remember, there's a quiet relief, like finding a key in your pocket. Many people notice this call and repetition. I always choose the same kind of person. I always end up in the same kind of job. I always fight for the same reason. The outside changes. The inside stays the same. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means the lesson is deep. The heart, when it wants to protect us, creates shortcuts. It avoids confrontations, pretends it didn't care, makes jokes, changes the subject. But the lesson stays there, asking for a look. One day you get tired of running and decide to look. And almost always what needed the most care was a part of you left aside a long time ago. Some psychologists say we carry inner images story templates that shape how we feel and act. We Dante need complicated names to understand the idea. Inside us, there are characters who repeat scenes. The child who was afraid of being abandoned, the teenager who learned to control everything so it wouldn't hurt, the adult who always puts herself last so she won't lose anyone. These parts aren't enemies. They're pieces of our story that want to be included, heard, and guided by a wider, more loving self. Life repeats what hasn't been integrated. It repeats so that we see. It repeats so that we stop fighting reality and start talking with it. It repeats because love is patient. When you feel an emotion much bigger than the moment would justify, there is almost always an old memory asking for closure. It's the body saying there's something old wearing new clothes here. Breathe. Before accusing someone, before blaming yourself, ask a simple question. What exactly hurt in me? Did it hurt to not be seen, not be heard, not have control, to be compared, to be replaced? Give it a name. To name is to bring light. And once we name it, the next question appears. How do we let it go? Many people think forgiveness means saying, it's fine, it was nothing. It doesn't. Forgiveness doesn't erase what happened, and it doesn't remove responsibility. Forgiveness is the act of taking off your own chest, the obligation to carry what the other person did. It's like setting down a suitcase that was never yours. When you forgive, you don't say, it was right. You say, I won't live chained to that scene. Forgiveness is a simple and profound spiritual technology. It's a decision repeated many times. Sometimes you forgive in the morning and need to forgive again in the afternoon. That's how it is. It's freedom practice. There is a practical path that helps, and it fits into any day. I call it forgive, recognize, act. First, forgive. Close your eyes for a few moments and say, "Sincerely, I choose to be free of this weight. I return to the universe what docenti belonged to me, and I reclaim my freedom to move on." Second, recognize. Name the pattern. I try to control because I'm afraid of being left. I accept crumbs because I'm afraid of being alone. I attack first because I learned the world is dangerous. It isn't to judge yourself, it's to see clearly. Third act. Choose a micro-action that honors the new truth. Call to apologize. Set a clear boundary. Write a letter you don't need to send. Say no where you always said yes. Change doesn't require brute force. It requires small, consistent moves. To bring this to life, imagine Maria. She grew up feeling responsible for keeping peace at home. As an adult, she chose jobs and relationships where she took care of everything and everyone but was rarely cared for. Her body began to speak with back pain and fatigue without reason. One day, Maria noticed she always said, "I'll handle it," while inside she wanted to shout, "Help me." She closed her eyes, breathed, and whispered, "I forgive myself for thinking my worth was in being useful. I recognize I'm afraid of being discarded when I need something. Today I'll practice asking for help." Her microaction was simple. She sent a message to a friend. "Can you listen to me for 10 minutes? That week, she repeated the request twice more. It wasn't magic, but it was real. For the first time in many years, Maria felt she didn't need to save the world to deserve love. The lesson began turning into wisdom. Now think of John. He learned early that crying was weakness. He became an efficient, productive adult, praised for his calm. Inside, he kept a volcano. Whenever someone took too long to reply, he froze, said it was silly, but spent hours anxious without admitting it. One day, tired of pretending, John sat down and asked two simple questions. What am I afraid of? And what would I do if I didn't have this fear? Every time life brings you to your knees, it's offering you a lesson. It's not punishment. It's an invitation to pay attention. What do you need to learn this time? Some lessons are soft, like a butterfly landing on your finger. Others are knocks to the head like an unexpected hammer. Today, let's talk about those harder knocks. Those situations that knock the wind out of you, leave you confused and unsure, like a boxer after a hard hit. These situations can make you feel off balance, feeling like you just want to stay on the ground and wait for it to all go away. But what if instead of giving in, you use this moment to learn something important? A lesson that makes you stronger. Here's a thought. Life's hardest moments aren't there to hurt you. They're mirrors showing you what needs to be understood. Why does understanding sometimes require a big knock on the head? Picture this. You're building a house. Do you think the architect spends all their time inside an office, drawing plans? Of course not. Architects learn best when they're outside, experiencing the changing weather, feeling the sun's warmth, observing how shadows fall during different times of the day. Similarly, your soul, which is like the architect, learns best not from books or theories, but from direct experience. By stepping into the classroom of life, those tough lessons, they're like tests. It's checks to see if you're paying attention, if you're ready to understand something important. So when you stumble and fall, when you're caught off guard, don't see it as a punishment. See it as a chance to learn, a chance to level up in the game of life. How do you know a lesson is turned into wisdom? You might not remember the exact details of the lesson, but your body and heart do. So the next time something similar shows up, you find yourself responding with more awareness, making choices that align with what you learned. Many people ask, how do I know I've learned the lesson? How do I know it's become wisdom? Here's how you know. You know it's become wisdom when you encounter a situation that's similar to the one you struggled with before, and you find yourself responding in a different way. You find yourself thinking, this reminds me of that time. Let me see if I got the lesson right this time around. In that moment, your soul leaps for joy. This is what learning is all about. This is how you know you VA graduated from the classroom of struggle and entered the realm of wisdom. Here's a quote that holds a deep truth. There are some moments in life so painful that even years later, the memory of them makes your body tense and your heart skip a beat. These wounds can feel like scars that never truly heal. But what if instead of seeing these wounds as burdens, we saw them as doorways? What if the places where life has hurt us the most are also where the most healing has occurred? When you feel discouraged or tired or afraid, remember this. Discouragement is like a child. It loves attention. When you give it your energy, it grows bigger and louder. Right. But when you ignore it, it shrinks away, hiding in the corners. Fatigue is much the same. It feeds on your worry and doubt. When you try to fight it, it seems to grow. But when you rest, it disappears. Fear, too, acts like a bully. When you argue with it, it becomes a raging beast. But when you turn away and ignore it, it loses all its power. Remember the times you've grown the most? What were the circumstances? Think about it. Wasn't it when you felt stuck, pushed to the edge, forced to change, compelled to learn something new? When you feel life pushing you hard, that's your cue to learn. It's your soul gently reminding you, hey, it's time for a lesson. Instead of fighting it, surrender to the process. Embrace the opportunity to learn, to evolve. Gratitude is a vitamin for the soul. It doesn't replace medicine when medicine is needed, but it helps the whole process. Gratitude is a daily habit that doesn't require great moments. You can practice gratitude for simple things like a comfortable chair, a tasty meal, or a moment of quiet reflection. It's about finding contentment in the everyday aspects of life. There are times when even the smallest steps forward feel like victories. Recognize these small wins. Appreciate the progress, no matter how tiny it may seem. This kind of gratitude nourishes your soul, helping you navigate difficult times with more grace and resilience. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your perspective away from what's lacking or causing pain. This practice helps in channeling negative emotions into positive growth. This journey of growth and transformation can sometimes feel lonely and confusing. You might wonder, am I really on the right path? Will things ever get better? But remember, every challenging moment is also an opportunity to deepen your connection with yourself. You can choose to lean into the discomfort and learn from it, or you can resist and push it away. However, when you lean in, you discover a profound truth. You realize that the journey you're on isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about becoming someone better along the way. It's about transforming pain into wisdom and fear into courage. Imagine life as a dance with ups and downs, twists and turns. Sometimes it feels like a waltz, elegant and graceful. Other times it resembles a tango, passionate and intense. During those intense moments, when you're in the thick of challenges and confusion, it's easy to lose sight of the music playing. It's the music of your soul. You might not always understand the notes or the rhythm, but if you allow yourself to move to the music, you'll find harmony in the midst of chaos. You'll find strength and vulnerability, and tenderness and toughness. The music of your soul is the soundtrack of your personal growth. It's a reminder that amidst life's complexities, there's a simplicity to be found in staying connected to your inner rhythm. Think about it. You might chase material possessions, social status, or fleeting pleasures, all in an effort to fill the void within. But true fulfillment comes from accepting and embracing the full range of your emotions. When you connect with your inner rhythm, you'll find a deep sense of satisfaction that doesn't depend on external factors. You'll realize that life's melody is composed of both highs and lows, and it's in the acceptance of all these notes that you'll find the harmony that resonates with your soul. You might not always have control over the circumstances, but you can choose how you respond to them. You can choose to approach challenges with a mindset of growth, knowing that every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and evolve. Instead of fearing the unknown, embrace it. Instead of resisting the present, accept it. Instead of worrying about the past, learn from it. It's like riding a roller coaster full of ups and downs. But it's in these ups and downs where the real adventure lies. So the next time life throws a curveball, remember to stay centered, stay curious, and stay open to learning. Embrace the ups and downs, and dance to the music of your soul. Because that's where the real magic happens. Life doesn't punish you, forms you. Whenever a test comes your way, ask yourself, what quality is this situation trying to grow in me? Patience, maybe courage, honesty, humility. Then choose to practice that quality to the best of your ability today. Don't compare your second chapter with someone else's 20th chapter. Every soul has its own curriculum. If you found some value in this message, please like this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.